and I needed to get up. It's 45 minutes. I will need to let it cool and just, so I've got this just set on top there, just getting, so that's why it's really important. I couldn't remember how many goes in there. I can fit up to 20 of the regular amount. Hello friends, winter weather advisory again today. And it is kidding season here on the farm. And what that means is our goats are getting ready to have babies. I don't know an exact date for them. We have about a 6-week window, but they're looking close. So I'm sticking close to home these days. And I needed to get a few small projects done. And I thought I would just bring you along for the journey for one of them. Hey, welcome. If you're new here, my name is Angela and I'm the Inquisitive Farm Wife, and I'm so glad that you are here today. I better go ahead and say this. I'm hoping that this video will be part of the March Canning Madness series collaboration that our hostess, Cosmopolitan Cornbread, is putting on. So the other day I went to Walmart and I got rotisserie chicken. I actually got 3 rotisserie chickens, but you know, around here we don't waste anything. And I realized I don't have but maybe 1 pint of chicken broth left. And I realized I've never brought you along for chicken broth. I've done a lot of turkey broth and turkey stock with you, but never chicken. Last night I was supposed to put it in the cooker. I have 3 carcasses and oops, I forgot. So I thought, you know what? You guys might enjoy seeing how you can make stock or broth in your Instapot. So I'm going to bring you down, let you see what I'm doing. It's going to be really quick. It's pretty hands-off. It's just an easy project that I can have going while I'm doing other things here around the farm. So what I have here is my Instapot, and I have my insert in here. And now all I need to do is I'm going to grab these carcasses. I went ahead and double wrapped this. I couldn't pass this deal up. They were on sale, clearance, for $2.98 each. So I picked off all the meat and I have that set aside. We've been eating on it. I'll probably freeze some. And then look in here. This is all those bones and fat and gelatinous matter, all the great for you stuff. Now, typically I would add salt and pepper to this, but I'm not going to do that today. Oh, looky here. We've got my friend Barley. He's my buddy. He's waiting for a snack, but he's not getting any. Then all we have to do is add water. And we'll add it up to the fill line here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead. I haven't plugged it in yet, so we need to plug it in. Turn it around. Let's see, so you can see what's going on here. Makes its little song. Okay. And I want to lock this up here on top. And then I'm just going to put this on high pressure for 45 minutes. And then that's it. It's going to do its thing. It's going to sit here on the counter and cook away while I get busy doing other projects. I'm going to let this, after it cooks its 45 minutes, I will need to let it cool and just come to natural release, I guess you would say, for at least 30 minutes. Making broth is one of the easiest things you can do. And it's cheap because you can use any bones from any meat that you have used. I've seen people even cut around their steaks and save that bone to make broth out of. It is so delicious and so easy and so cheap. We're back. Right about the 30-minute mark, like I thought. And we are ready to strain it out. Let's see what happened while we were off doing other things. Okay, first thing, we need to go ahead and tap it. It still has a little pressure, so I'll gently tap that. Let it completely release. Grab some hot pads. Also, need to grab yourself a bowl and a strainer. Now that the pressure has released, we can take the lid off, away from our face. And looky what we have here. Oh, I wish you could smell this, friends. So what I want to do is pick this up, and we're just going to pour it through the strainer, grabbing, look at all that golden broth. Beautiful, just beautiful. Dump that in there. Put that insert right back in there. Why? Because I like to run this through a couple of times. I like to get it to where the bones are so super soft. So this goes right back in there. Set this aside to let it cool. See here, the bones still have structure. I like to do this until the bones have become so soft they fall apart. This might take 2 to 3 times. I mean, we do have 3 carcasses in here. Same thing. Fill it right up to the line, except this time we're going to add some apple cider vinegar. Pour in a glug of that. In case you're wondering, adding vinegar will help kind of soften that bone and bring out some of that marrow and give us that really good, healthy bone broth that we desire. And this is the perfect time, if you make your own apple cider vinegar, to use it now. This is also a good time to add any extra seasonings that you want. We didn't add those seasonings in the first round, so I'm going to go ahead and start adding some now. I've got these bay leaves that are all crushed up, and I don't like using those in recipes, but being that we're going to strain it, I think this would be the perfect opportunity to use some of this. Probably equal to, I don't know, 2 to 3 bay leaves here. We're going to do the same thing we did before. Okay, about an hour and a half later, we are back from our second round, and let's go ahead and see what this looks like. Ooh, I love what the bay leaves did. What amazing aromatics that makes. Okay, so, whoops, I don't want to get this on my gloves. So into the pot it goes. And I can already tell the bones, they're soft, but not quite as soft as I'd like. And look at that golden color. Beautiful. So we're going to drain this off. I'm going to throw it back into the Instapot. Add our water to the line. Just a splash of vinegar this time. And celery salt. We're probably getting to the point where we need some salt, and celery will give it some really good seasoning. I could finish that right off. So you know the drill. And I'm pretty sure that third time will be our charm. Actually, I know it will, because the bones are already starting to soften. And that is what when I indicate that they are spent. So we'll go ahead and combine everything together before we can it. And I'll bring you back then. Hey friends, if you're new here, you may not have seen this angle. This is the downstairs, what I consider market kitchen. I do a lot of my canning down here. So all my canners and all that stuff's down there. So what we did is I brought all the broth down, and then I put it in a pot, mixed it all together, and now we're going to can it up. Today I'll be using the Presto electric canner, and it can hold up to 16 quarts. So I've got 16 ready. I'm not sure if we'll fill that many, but that's what I have ready. This is the pot where I mixed all 3 batches of the broth together, and we're going to jar them up and process them in the pressure canner. You can stack them. I believe it's 16, but it might be more than that. So let's just get filling jars. But I do want to tell you what I do to prepare this canner is I have added the amount of water in here that my book calls for. I keep all my manuals and everything right up here so I can refer back to them. I always suggest hang on to those. It's really important. We need to check the seal. This one has a seal. It is nice and soft and pliable. It is perfect. There's a little peekaboo hole that we want to look through. And I know You can't see me, but I can see you. Some people like to give the whistle test. Yep, it's good and clear. So I've got this just set on top there, just getting warm. The lids I'm using today need to be warmed. So I've got those in warm water. Canning broth is so easy and so simple. Okay, so we talk about headspace. That's the area between the top of the jar to where the liquid is. This mark is 1 inch. This is a 1/2 inch. This is a 1/4 of an inch. As I'll stir up our broth, and we'll pour it in to the 1 inch mark. That's going to be right where the bottom of the blue is right at 1 inch. And we'll just go through all our jars until they are full. We got the 16 pints like I thought, plus a little extra, and this will just go in the fridge. I kind of keep forgetting that there might be some new canners here, and I just wanted to say a few things. If you want, you can add salt to this, but because it was an already seasoned broth or an already seasoned chicken that we used, plus we did add some stuff when we made the broth, remember? So I don't feel like we need to add any salt or anything to that. So I am ready to just go ahead and start processing. So what I need to do is I'm going to lift this lid up away from my face, of course, and I'm going to put a glug of vinegar in here. And the reason I do this is because I have hard water, and it just makes your jars look prettier if you take that step. I've got some paper towel here, and I'm going to generously coat my paper towel, because what I'm wanting to do is make sure that I'm cleaning the rims really, really well. So what I'll do is I'll go around each rim. Remember, that vinegar is not going to bother any of this. I'm going to grab myself a lid, put that on there, grab myself a ring, twist that on fingertip tight. That means I'm leaving enough room that the air can get out of there. Speaking of air, usually I use one of these and I do what's called debubbling, but because this is all liquid, there is no other food particles in there, I don't really need to debubble. But it is a really neat tool because you can flip it this way and debubble, and then this way you can check your measurements. And then I'm going to just start loading up the canner. And I'll just rinse and repeat, just do this to each and every single one of them, because there is fat on this in this broth, because we left the skins and everything in there when we went and did it, and that will get on the edge of the rings, or that will get on the edge of your jar, and then that could cause your lids not to seal. So that's why it's really important that we're wiping down these rims really well. As we take the time to go ahead and wipe down these rims, it also gives us the opportunity to look for any imperfections. When we wash these jars, we try to find them, but sometimes we miss them. And this is just one last chance to be able to check to make sure that there were no chips or no issues with our jars. If the rings don't want to go on, don't use them. They won't work in the canner either. Okay, remember how I couldn't remember how many goes in there? I can fit up to 20 of the regular mouth. So check this out. Layer 1. And then I'll get another one of these. I'll set on top the jars, and then we'll make layer 2. There you go. Now you can see that you can stack 2 layers. If you're like me and you have lots of different jars from lots of different companies, sometimes they're not always the same. Some are a little shorter, some are a little taller, wider, thinner. You get it. So I try to always gather the ones that are on the bottom to be about the same height. So when you put that barrier in there, it's nice and level to work with. So now all I have to do is, there's an arrow here, and I line it up with the arrow here, and then I twist it. I'll turn the heat up. I'm probably going to turn it on a different burner because this one doesn't seem to be working quite right. So I'm going to move this to a different burner now before it gets really hot, and then we're going to let it vent. This needs to come to a good steam for 10 minutes before we do anything else. Okay, I want to show you guys this. You can hear it. It's boiling in there. I can tell it is. I'm starting to see a little sputtering, but look, barely anything's coming out. We can't start the time yet. Of course, you can't see it, but listen. You see that? See that stream? Oh, it's so hard to see. There is. There's a steady stream. Listen. So the timer starts. 10 minutes. Okay, so this popped up. Oh, there you can see the stream. This popped up, but our 10 minutes isn't up, so we still need to let it vent. It's been our 10 minutes. We are ready to start getting closer to processing. Closer. We need to put on a weight. This right here is what mine came with. I went ahead and purchased myself a jiggler. It comes with 2 5-pound pressure weights on it. It is 5 pounds itself, so it can do up to 15 pounds pressure. In my zone, I only need 10 pounds. So I'm going to put that right on there. Woo! Careful. It's going to build up to pressure, and when it gets to that 10, 11 mark, it is going to start jiggling. It jiggles and dances, and I call it the hula dance. And you can see she's getting ready to do that, my hula hula. And when she gets there and she makes that nice, easy rock, then we're going to set this timer for 20 minutes because these are pints. If you're doing quarts, it would be 25 minutes. And you're probably thinking, oh, I thought meat stuff was like an hour. Meat, not broth. There is a difference. So it doesn't take near as long to process. Had I saved back some of that chicken to put in there and make a soup, I would have had to process it at a totally different time. Now I know my canner, and I know I'm going to have to start turning this down just a little bit. You'll get to know your canner too. We're rocking and rolling and hula dancing. There it is, folks. That's your dancer. That's your jiggler. Now we know we're at the pressure. Okay, 20-minute timer went off. So now all I need to do, I shut off the stove, and we're just going to let this sit. That's it. Let it sit. Let it cool. Don't touch it. Don't do anything with it. Walk away. If you have been around the channel long enough, you know what I usually do at this time. Evening chores. That's right. I'm going to go out and milk. I'll see you when I'm done. Chores are done. I got a quick shower. Okay, you lift up the jiggler, and then you open it up away from your face, and then you're just going to let that sit for 5 minutes, and don't even mess with it. 5 to 10 minutes, okay? And then now that our time has elapsed, we can start taking out our jars ever so carefully. There is, oh, did you hear that? That's a poppity pop pop, and we like that noise. Depending on what type of lids you use, you may or may not get this music. And that's okay, because some jars are meant to do this and some of them are not. So don't be alarmed. For jars, for example, they do not, I mean, they pop, but they don't have that deep thunk pop like this style of lids do. These are just, I believe, Golden Harvest or something. Just something that I had, you know, these jars, I got them, and they come with lids, and I had saved them, and it's just time to get those used up. So that's what that is all about. Take out my rack, and let me show you the water. Oops. The water is nice and clear. There was no siphoning. Let's talk a little bit about what siphoning means. That means that maybe we got our jars a little too tight, or we put too much food in there, whatever the may be. Sometimes your juices and things will come out and get into your water, and that can sometimes cause a problem with sealing, but usually not. If you want to know more about siphoning and what to do when that happens, I do have a video out there. Ping, 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 I love it. There's a video out there, my Chipotle beef video. I did have siphoning and I brought you guys all along and I showed you what I did about that. And then I also went in depth about, on how I wash my jars, why I wash them that way, and you can find out more information on that. But for now, we're going to close out this video for the sake of time. And I just want to say thank you so much for joining me as I brought you my version of Instant Pot broth and canning up some pint-sized jars of chicken broth to have on the shelf. It's a bone broth. If I wanted it to be a stock, I just would have added veggies. That's all there is to it, friends. And this is the last jar. I'm going to dump this out, give it a good rinse, turn it upside down to dry. Almost forgot to tell you, we got to let those set on the counter for 12 to 24 hours before we do anything with them. Then you'll check your seals and wash them. If they did not seal, put them in the fridge, use them within a couple weeks. And that's it. We'll see you next time on The Inquisitive Farm Wife. Bye for now.